Hello, welcome back to Lead with Sarah. Why boundaries are a quick fix, and that's exactly why you can stop your people pleasing tendency. So, welcome to my podcast. I'm so excited to share with you, and something that I really want to highlight today in this episode is that every single time I'm posting something and I share it with you, it comes from a lot of work on myself and along client. So I always bring the teaching, the core of what I experienced, tested myself, and did with my client to give you massive value because I understand how your time it's important and I understand how much stuff there is going on online all the time, and you don't even know sometimes who do I listen to, what do I believe to? And I get it. I have been there. So my goal with this podcast is to deliver value that comes from real experience, real teaching, real, I would say, when you're using your hand to make a cake, right? You can't just don't use your hand to make a good cake. You really need to dive into the ingredient to make something incredible. You need to make your hand dirty, right? To cook something. And that's exactly how my podcast is. People pleasing and why those 3-step framework to set boundaries hasn't worked for you. Here is the truth about people pleasing. People pleasing, it's a survival response. People please, and they maybe start to do a few things like changing using like a 3-step formula. They begin to set the boundaries, send them message, don't look at the phone, whatever it may be. And after a week, they start to do all over again the people pleasing. And then they look into the mirror and then say, why have I done that again? And very often my client look at myself and then say, I don't know why I did it again. Sarah, why I'm keep doing something that I know I shouldn't do? I set the boundaries, I did the steps, but it's still happening. Why is that? Because 3 things hasn't changed, and they are the most important one. Plus, I will share 2 extra things at the end of the episode to give you even more insight on how you, after this episode, you can change this already if you follow that. So, number 1, your people pleasing tendency is a survival response, which means that if you do not understand your nervous system and you don't know why you started your people pleasing in the first place, you'll never be able to change that. Even if you use the best framework, the best technique, if you're learning communication, even if you're learning how to communicate, which is, by the way, very important. I'm not saying that it's not important. It's absolutely essential. And I will actually record an episode about communication so people actually listening to you more and respect you more. But the point is, if you are not rewiring your nervous system to this, you're gonna keep falling back into the same pattern. And something that I always ask my client is, how did you start this pattern? Do you know how it started? Do you know why it started? And I give you an example. Maybe when you were younger, you will say yes all the time because that's how you kept yourself safe. By saying yes, 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 you learn it in the early stage of your life that was safe. If I say yes, nothing bad happened to me. Meaning you keep repeating that in your adult life. But now it doesn't serve you anymore because now it makes you frustrated, drained, angry, resentful towards client, partners, friends, bosses, team, whatever. Because you keep saying yes and that costing you, of course, your energy, your well-being, and everything in between. But until you arrive at the core of why do I do that and how it is started, you are never going to be able to change that. So that is absolutely important to understand into the people-pleasing journey, that until this is uncovered, is not gonna cut. Number 2, which is I feel like that it's something that people really override a lot, and it's actually so essential for overcoming people-pleasing tendency. People-pleasing, it's a form of self-abandonment. So you learn that your needs are not important, that other people's needs are more important than yours. And more than that, you learn that by saying yes by abandoning yourself, because that's what you're doing, you are getting something in return, which is you maybe are more liked, you are more loved, you are more appreciated, people give you validation. It's a form of validation. And like it or not, it has to be break it. Because in order for you to break the people-pleasing tendency, which is connected with step number 1, without the nervous system and the body coming on board with this, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work long term. And self-abandonment, it's a form of protection. I abandon myself to say yes to other people, so I am safe. So everything is going to be fine because I get the validation externally that I am good, that I am loved, that I'm still liked. And if I'm loved, I'm liked, and all the things, everything is fine. So you keep repeating that until it's draining you, obviously, because you're putting yourself last, you're putting your need last, and then overnight that creates burnout, resentment, and so many other emotions that not only damage your relationship, but also damage yourself, your body, your physical health. People that struggle with people pleasing, they have so many health issues. And why do I share this? Because this has been my journey. I have been the biggest people pleaser you haven't met in your life. Like, trust me, I have been. I did the things, if I'm thinking about it now, I had to do a lot of work on forgiving myself for all the time that I say yes, for all the time that I allow it things that I should never allow it in the first place. But nothing shifted, and nothing does a shift for my client neither, until those 2 steps are done. And a deeper understanding of your pattern, it's how you break them. Because it's like putting like a bandage on something. But if you keep bleeding and you're not giving like the right cure to the cut, it's going to keep bleeding, even if you're putting the bandage on. And maybe it becomes like an infection, and then from a little cut, it becomes a big problem. And that's exactly what happens with people pleasing. So that it's number 2. Now I dive in number 3, which is this. You can literally apply this to everything else. So I'm giving you like something that it's not valuable just for people pleasing. Can be applied to any pattern that you keep repeating, but you can't change it. And it's all connected with nervous system and your body. And why do you create that pattern in the first place? And that's when we know why we break it. We break it because now you know why you have been doing that. And you know that you can change that because you take control back. Otherwise, you're very passive into the process. Now, number 3. This is the game changer. And this is applied also to gym workout. Have you wondered why you can't stick to your gym workout? Or why you say, I'm not going to scroll in the morning anymore, and you do it for 4 days, 5 days, and then day number 7, you start scrolling again. Or you sign up to the gym, you go there for 3-4 times, and then number 5, you don't go anymore. Or you say that you stop eating sugar because you want to lose weight and have more energy, but at day 6, you start to have cake again because something hasn't changed. And it's not that you need a new PT, or you need a new gym, or you need to buy better clothes, or you need to do another plan in your schedule to fit in your workout. You need to change identity. And this is the same with people pleasing. Until you shift your identity around this, you are going to keep operating with the survival identity. I always have been doing that. This is easy for me. This is getting uncomfortable. Let me just back into my old self and let's keep people pleasing. So you literally are going to repeat the same, because at the core of this work, step number 3 is missing. Maybe you are someone that right now can recognize yourself in what I'm saying, and maybe you do the nervous system. Maybe you already done maybe a lot of therapy. You are aware of your coping mechanism. You are aware of your pattern, but your body still hasn't catch up yet. So mentally, you did process that a lot. In your mind, you know what people pleasing is. You know that you shouldn't do it, but then a client messaging you, and you do it again. Or your team messaging you, and you say yes. Or your friend messaging you, and you say yes. And then you regret it later. And then you say, wow, why I'm still doing that? So you might are someone that already does one of those points, but if those 3 points are not connected together at the same time, is not gonna last. So even if you see some changes, it might last for a little bit, but then you come back to the same. And the identity is such an important part of this work, because if you don't change your identity, it means that you are not changing the way that you think, the way that you behave, and the way that you act. And that is so essential for you to see a change and shift those patterns. So those are the three things that I see missing when people teach like how to stop a people pleasing pattern. And stopping people pleasing is such a game changer, because you begin to actually be yourself, because you are not authentic when you people pleasing. I don't like to use this word in a strong way, but honestly, people pleasing, it's a sort of manipulation, because you are not authentic. You say yes when you actually want to say no. You show up in a way that you actually is not true to yourself, and the other person experience a version of you that it's actually not true. It's actually not honest, and nothing has been created in relationship and business from that. It just leads to dishonesty, burnout, stress, and misunderstanding long term. It's not sustainable for both parties involved into the relationship. Now, there is two more things. Those three things are, I will say, like how you begin to change everything. But there are two more that are absolutely essential for you to see a lasting change. And I talk about this so many times with my client. In order to activate this new identity that we were talking about before, you have to go through the process of feeling the anger. If you are not feeling your emotions, why did you suppress that, and what did the cause to you to be a people pleaser for so long? You will never be able to activate this new version of you. It's like bypassing it, and by bypassing it, your next identity is going to be weak. Weak because there is one part that hasn't completed yet. It's like when you're exercising, you want to become fitter. I'm currently doing like a program for my body and for my fitness. I started to see a change because I went slowly. I started from 0 because I did stop exercising, and that's another story for another time. I started small, and now I am increasing slowly. I didn't went from 0 to crazy workout. And the more you feeling the anger and the suppressed emotions connected with the people pleasing, the more your new identity will stick. And I would say also not just stick, you will be able to activate that. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And something else, which is the last thing that I want to share with you. This process, it's uncomfortable. And the faster we accept that growth, it's also uncomfortable. And we have to go through a phase where say no will be not easy. Set the boundaries will not be easy. Doing this work with your nervous system, with your body, with your identity, with your anger, it won't be easy. But that's how you go on the other side. That's how you stop this pattern that it's absolutely not useful for you and not useful for your business, for your client, and for the people around you, and for your relationship. So by breaking this require going through a process of feeling uncomfortable, and human beings don't like to feel uncomfortable. And online, there is always a lot of content and a lot of message around that it's easy, do 3-step, buy my 3 weeks program, and everything is gonna be fine. No, everything is not gonna be fine until you go through this process. And my goal here, it's actually be truthful to you and not sharing quick fix, and actually showing you that on the other side there is growth, there is your expansion, there is everything that you desire, but you have to go through the process of feeling a little bit of pain. And that's what it is. And that's how it is. That's how growth happened. Like for me, the past couple of years has been the biggest pain I have felt. But guess what? Has been the biggest growth I have had. Because I actually really allow myself to go there and change those patterns in a way that I never did it before. Because I didn't went deep enough. And I just used the quick fix, which works, but just for a few days, and then you're back into the same. And then it builds up, and then it gets worse. It doesn't get better. So here is the truth about people pleasing. And please comment below, what do you think about this episode? And more than that, what did you learn through this episode? And if you want to dive deeper into this with me, I offer clarity session where inside my one-to-one session with me, you get to understand what patterns are currently stopping you from having the life, the relationship, and the business that you desire. And with this, I'll see you next week.